Hello, everyone. Welcome to 希平方 show called NG 英文. My name's John Drummond or 阳昊恩.
Hello， 大家好，欢迎回到我们希平方的节目 NG 英文，我是 Angela。
We have a great show for you today with our good friend Martin, known around the Taiwanese community as 方马丁。
今天我们邀请到我们的好朋友 Martin， 也就是大家都熟悉的方马丁，来跟我们分享一些有关语言学习的故事哦。
Before we get to our NG 英文 interview with Martin and I, Angela and I wanted to break down some of the cultural differences that Martin spoke about, particularly about how we can use 不好意思 in English.
在进入访谈之前呢 John 跟我要先在 NG 英文里面跟大家说明一些文化上的差异哦。那特别是有关我们要怎么样正确的用英文在各种情况下说不好意思哦。
So, our NG 英文 topic today is 不好意思. We want to explain the different ways we can use it in English and how we can use it in multiple ways in Chinese.
好，那今天 NG 英文的主题是不好意思，那我们就赶快来认识认识这句每天都会讲到的不好意思，在英文里的用法跟中文到底有什么不一样哦。那一般在中文里面很多情况下，我们常常都会用到这句不好意思，代表自己其实很拍谢，不好意思刚麻烦你了这样子的意思哦。或者是比如说撞到人家也会说不好意思，借过一下不好意思，帮我拿个东西不好意思，谢谢你送我这东西不好意思破费了。在这些这么多的情况下都可以用到不好意思来表达自己的内心的一些抱歉哦。但是在英文呢，如果用同样的方式同样的这个逻辑讲不好意思的话，其实对方会有点不太知道你要表达的是什么哦。
So Martin was sharing with us about some expressions of how we use 不好意思, and we can use that many different ways in Chinese. But he was sharing that when we use excuse me, the meaning of 不好意思, in English, at the end of a request, it can almost be like we are asking for a new request. For example, Martin was at a restaurant with a friend of his, and he was saying that he asked the waitress, "Excuse me, can you give me a menu?" When she brought the menu to him, he said, "Excuse me," again. There, we don't want to say excuse me. We want to say thank you.
那在马丁的访谈内容中呢，他有提到可能因为语言上或是文化上的不同，台湾人对于在用不好意思的用法上也有一些不一样哦。他这边就举了个例子，有天呢，他跟他的朋友去餐厅吃饭，那他的朋友说了一句，服务生不好意思，请帮我们拿个菜单。那在这边听起来都还很正常，但是当服务生把菜单拿过来之后呢，朋友竟然又再次说了一句不好意思。那这时马丁就觉得奇怪了，他帮你拿了东西之后，你应该是要说谢谢就好啦，怎么又说了一次不好意思呢？那这边就是我们中文跟英文用法上的不一样咯。因为在中文里啊，当我们想要表达谢谢不好意思麻烦你了，我们也是会很习惯性的用上这句不好意思，但是在英文里用法却是完全不一样的哦。
Okay, Angela, let's play a little NG 英文 game. 不好意思 can mean two things most commonly in English. I'm sorry or excuse me. I'm going to give you a sentence, and let's see if you can use the correct English translation for 不好意思。
要玩游戏哦，好吧，那不然大家也跟我们一起玩好了。那这边先跟大家解释一下哦，因为我们中文这句不好意思，在英文里面可以有两种解释哦。比方说我们可以翻成对不起 I'm sorry， 或者是 excuse me 不好意思，有这两种解释的方式。那待会 John 他会给我们一个句子，这个句子里面呢会有一个空格，那待会我们就要来想一想，在这空格里面呢是要填哪一种不好意思哦，到底是要填 I'm sorry 还是要填 excuse me， 大家要好好思考思考哦。
Okay, are you ready, Angela? Angela, could you please give me a menu?
我想一想哦，要给你 menu excuse me?
Excuse me, that's right. We want to use excuse me before the request. Excuse me, Angela, could you please give me a menu?
那刚这句话意思其实是Angela 你可不可以帮我拿个菜单？那这个这里我们要放什么字呢？各位听众有没有跟我一样答对是要放 excuse me？ 为什么呢？因为这个字可以用来表达一些请求，给人家注意力，就说不好意思哦，可不可以怎么样怎么样，就是要表达你有一个需求，请人家可不可以帮帮你这样子的意思哦。
Okay, so let's make the second one a little bit harder. So now you have choices between I'm sorry, excuse me, or thank you.
好，那大家做好准备，我们要再给你一个例子哦。就像刚刚讲到，我们接下来会有3个选项，那大家可以脑力激荡，思考我们到底是要放 I'm sorry, excuse me 还是 thank you。
So Angela brings me back the menu, and I want to say, Angela.
好，让我想一想哦，我帮你拿这个菜单，那应该是谢谢吧， Thank you. Is that the right answer? 这答案对的吗？
That's right. So, excuse me, Angela, can you please bring me a menu? And when she brings me the menu, we say, Thank you, Angela.
大家也都答对了吗？没错哦，在英文里面，当人家帮你做了某件事情，你应该是说 Thank you, 谢谢，而不是像中文会讲的不好意思这样子哦。那为什么会这样子呢？如果我们用中文的思考逻辑去想的话，可能会觉得奇怪，讲不好意思也没有错啊。常常我们都会说，不好意思，谢谢你哦，麻烦了，这样子的表达方式。但是在英文里，其实只要一句谢谢 Thank you 就够咯。
All right, well that's all for our NG 英文 teaching part.
希望大家有学到一些不好意思在中文和英文的用法哦。那我们 NG 英文的部分就先暂时在这边告一段落咯。希望大家有从中学到一些不好意思在英文和中文间的不同用法。那接下来我们话不多说，赶快来听听主持人 John 跟方马丁的访谈内容吧。
Today, our guest is Martin Firm, known around the community as Fang Mading. He's a Swedish artist, entertainer, husband, father, and language lover. You might recognize his name from 二分之一强 or the popular Taiwanese TV drama 嫁妆. So please, everyone, welcome my good friend Martin. Thanks for being here, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I know you've been so busy working on some new projects. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
方马丁今天要来跟我们聊聊他最近在做的大事。什么大事呢？就是除了他平常上的电视节目或是我们连续剧里面看到他演的角色以外，他其实也有一个自己主持的电视节目哦，叫做国民汉字须知。我们都知道中文字，就连我们自己母语人士都常常会写错字或是念错破音字等等，那对于外国人来讲就更不用说是尤其困难的啦。所以马丁呢，他就特别制作了这个节目，要来介绍这个有别于西方人的 ABC 字母，关于中文字的由来、历史等等的相关知识哦。
Yeah, it's been quite busy lately. I've got all my standard TV shows that I do. There's been a couple of dramas that I've done some minor roles for, and then also I'm hosting a TV show now, which is talking about Chinese characters and their origin and their meanings and a lot of interesting things about Chinese characters.
Oh, wow, that's so focusing on calligraphy? Is this?
No, it's actually more about since, the Chinese characters, each character has a specific meaning and they have a long history behind them, and they're made up out of all of these radicals, and like how did they get put together, why, what was the whole purpose behind them, and talking a lot about a specific character.
Wow, that's awesome. So you're probably learning so much now about the origins of all these words.
Yeah, you absolutely get to learn a lot more about the characters in itself, and by that you also get to learn more about the language itself, like how it developed and how it originated, especially since you're having a written language which is made up of characters and symbols instead of, your usual ABCs.
Yeah, that's right. That's very cool. So can we backtrack a little bit then to what got you your start kind of as an entertainer here in Taiwan?
在听完马丁进演艺圈的一些分享之后，大家是不是也觉得他很厉害呢？那到底他是怎么样开始的他的演艺事业？马丁接着会提到，因为他太太在媒体界工作，那公司呢当时有个新节目是要邀请在台湾的外国人做一些经验分享，所以就介绍他上这个节目。那也可能是因为当时表现不错吧，后来的节目邀约不断甚至也有在本土剧演出哦，而且还是第一位在台湾本土剧有着重要角色的外国人哦。那也就是在这样的因缘际会下，让马丁开始了他在台湾的演艺生活。那我们话不多说，赶快来听听方马丁他的故事吧。
For me, it was actually basically I learned the basics of Chinese, and I could talk fairly good. And then my wife actually, she worked in the TV industry, and they had this TV show where they wanted some foreigners to come on and, talk about their experiences in Taiwan, and asked me if I wanted to be on. And I said, sure, why not? Let's try that out. And I guess it did good because they wanted me to come back more and more. after that, more and more different TV shows wanted me to be on, and I just kept on doing that. And eventually that escalated into I had to quit my normal day job and do this full time, because I also got to star in Taiwanese drama, and I was the first foreigner ever to actually have a role, and especially like one of the main roles in one of these Taiwanese dramas.
That's wonderful. What's the name of that show?
It was called 嫁妆. So it translates as dowry.
Dowry.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Wow, so that's so cool. So you were one of the first foreigners to have a consistent role on a Taiwanese TV drama.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, no, it was an experience for sure, especially considering it's one of these shows that airs 5 days a week. Each episode is 2.5 hours, and it's pretty much all in Taiwanese. So, you're recording almost like a full-length movie every day.
Wow, and you were speaking Chinese, Taiwanese, and a little English, or mostly just Chinese and Taiwanese?
No, it was mostly Chinese. My role was as a foreigner. So in the beginning, it was a lot of using Chinese, and then eventually it gradually started to be more and more Taiwanese. And towards the end of the show, I was speaking maybe 80% Taiwanese. And I did this show for about half a year, so 100-something plus episodes.
Wow. That is incredible. Nice accomplishment, my friend. So let's backtrack then even further, if we can, into kind of the origin of your language learning. So you are from Sweden, and for those of you who know Sweden, you are kind of surrounded by so many European countries that all speak other languages. What did you first start speaking other than your native tongue of Swedish?
讲了这么多，大家有没有发现马丁啊，他不止中文好到可以在台湾的连续剧演出，甚至还自己主持了一个说文解字的节目，连英文也好得不得了。那接下来呢，他会分享一些他一开始学英文的原因。马丁有说到，当初呢，他其实因为想要打电动才开始学英文的啦。那同时也是因为在瑞典，不像其他欧洲国家一样，他们的美国电影啊或是电视节目等等都没有用当地的语言配音，都是原汁原味的美式英文哦。而且再加上瑞典很冷，所以大家会常常出国到比较温暖的国家旅游。那因为要跟不同国家人交流，增加了一些练习英文的机会。我们赶快来听听他的分享吧。
Well, other than Swedish, of course, the first language you get into is English, of course, being that, we're in Europe, and that's kind of like the general, the baseline of languages. Everyone speaks English. So I started off with English in the beginning when I was a kid, of course, and especially in Sweden, because we don't have like many other European countries that, they use a lot of dubbing or translations and stuff. For instance, in TV and movies and even video games. And, being an 80s kid, growing up in the early 90s, I loved my video games. They were never translated into Swedish, so it was all English. So that's kind of like how I got very interested, because there were so many games that I wanted to play, and, obviously got to learn English for that. And then, of course, also because in Sweden, we like to travel a lot. It's a very cold country up in the north, don't get a lot of sun, so we like to travel, get around. And obviously, when we travel, you need to have some way of communicating. So English was the first language that you really needed to focus on.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You're very cold, so you traveled, and then you're forced to use English as every other country defaults to that. So what age does English become mandatory in school?
听到马丁他当初学英文的动机是因为想要打电动，各位有没有发现，其实学英文也不是那么痛苦嘛？只要找到一个自己喜欢的东西，然后呢，我们再从中去发掘一些会想要让自己学英文的动机，接着可能就会发现，学英文好像也没什么大不了，没那么难，那么无聊嘛。那在接下来的访谈中，马丁要跟我们分享在瑞典的语言教育哦。那学校呢，从6岁、7岁或是8岁开始上英文课，但是9岁的时候呢，就要开始学第3种语言咯。而且近几年来，因为亚洲文化的盛行，学校呢也开始有中文或是日文的课程。那另外呢，马丁他也要跟我们分享一个很有趣的小知识哦，也就是大约有将近60%的瑞典人会说3种语言呢，就连他80岁的奶奶都会讲瑞典文、英文还有法文，是不是很厉害呢？那我们话不多说，赶快来认识认识这个让全国人民都是语言天才的瑞典语言教育。
So we usually start English pretty much around maybe age 6, 7-ish. And then actually around 9 years old, we start on our third language. And our third language, everyone gets to choose between, usually it's one of the Latin languages, Spanish, French, Italian, or you can also choose German. Nowadays, because of the growing influence from Asia, and a lot of people are getting interested in the Asian languages. So actually now you can even choose like Chinese and Japanese. So actually, I read a little study about just languages in Sweden, and it said that around 58% of Swedes speak 3 languages or more.
58%. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
So even my 80-year-old grandma, she speaks Swedish, English, and French.
What a talented population of Swedish. I love that. That leads me to your son, Anton. So Anton is growing up now with such a mix of cultures. Can you explain a little bit about that?
那讲了这么多瑞典人在语言方面的天分，等会我们也会讲到瑞典小孩的英语学习之路哦。那如果各位听众在家中有小朋友的话，欢迎在底下留言跟我们分享，平时呢是用什么方法来协助孩子练习英文的，或是呢有没有什么在启发孩子对外语的兴趣这方面的经验啊？如果你也刚好是方马丁 Martin 他的忠实粉丝，你一定也知道他有个超级可爱的儿子安东。那儿子安东呢，他很厉害哦，他在多种语言下成长，身为一半瑞典人，当然还是一定要会讲瑞典语咯。所以马丁在跟儿子讲话的时候都只会用这个语言。那另外一半是台湾人，所以妈妈也只跟儿子说中文。那他每年回瑞典的时候呢，马丁的妹妹家庭因为住在伦敦，只说英文，所以当安东跟妹妹家的小孩玩的时候，也可以同时练习英文哦。那小孩子学习力就像海绵一样，吸收无敌快速，就连是在这样子3种语言下成长，也是完全没有问题的。那我们就赶快来听听可爱安东的故事吧。
Absolutely. I mean, me being Swedish, while it might not be the most useful language in the world, it's very important for him to learn some Swedish. And because of that, so ever since he was born, I've been consistently only using Swedish when I'm talking to him. Just by doing that, he's now 5 years old and he understands pretty much everything I say. He's not as fluent in it speaking by himself, but he absolutely can to some extent. And so he gets Swedish, and then obviously by living in Taiwan and having the mom speaking Chinese primarily, he gets Chinese. But then also he's recently found a very big interest for English, and I would probably say that's because we try to go back to Sweden once every year, and whenever we go back to Sweden, since it's in Europe, we also like to travel around a lot. And I have my sister in London, and her boyfriend actually has 2 kids, which are a little bit older than Anton, but they are from the UK, so they only speak English. And now Anton has found that in order for him to communicate with them, he needs to learn English. So he's actually found that little motivation to actually, he wants to learn English by himself now, just to be able to communicate them. So he's been putting on like these, learning English TV shows and little kids cartoons, and he's trying to speak English by himself just because he wants to learn so he can be able to communicate. That also, it's very interesting with kids because kids are such a sponge for just absorbing languages.
That is, yeah, like you said, well said, a sponge. They're just kind of constantly being around that much language, and they're picking up the language at almost a native level, I'd say.
Absolutely.
That's great. So that kind of makes me think, have you experienced a lot of cultural differences now, or have you noticed Anton experiencing cultural differences with learning Chinese versus English or anything like that?
那在听完前面马丁分享儿子的故事之后，有没有发现其实在3种文化下成长是有很多东西要学的啊？学习一个新的语言就像在认识一个新的文化。那接下来马丁和主持人 John 会谈到文化差异，聊聊这句不好意思在各种情况下的不同用法哦。那这边给大家一个小提示，这是我们在 NG 英文里面提到的部分，待会听的时候呢，耳朵可要打开，好好注意马丁提到的用法哦。
Well, there's a lot of things considering that they're 2 languages that are so far apart, that there's a lot of times when you, especially in expressions, you want to say something that just comes natural. Like if you take in Chinese, for instance, there's the phrase 不好意思, which kind of mean excuse me, sorry in a sense. And they just use this sentence for anything. And it could be for, excuse me, I need to pass, or it can be, sorry for troubling you for doing this. But then they also use it sometimes when it becomes a little bit weird. Like, let's say you're in a restaurant and you're asking for the menu, and then they would say the 不好意思, but in a term, like you wouldn't really say that. It's more of a thank you. And that's not, I mean, you're saying excuse me just gets a little bit weird when, maybe they're bringing you the menu and you would say, excuse me. And they were like, excuse you for what? You would probably just say, oh, thank you instead.
Yeah, that's nice. So leading with the 不好意思 to start the request is good. And then, when they bring it back to you, you can just be polite and say thank you. 谢谢. So, going more into advice now, do you have any tips you can share or kind of things that helped motivate you when you were learning languages?
紧接着呢，接下来马丁要来跟我们分享一些学英文的建议哦。他认为呢，我们跟母语人士相处练习是非常重要的哦，而且也要找到学习动机，让自己有这个学习动力。那不管是电影啦、音乐啦，或是书本等等，就算是要远渡重洋搬到那个国家，也是值得一试的。那除了这些建议以外，马丁呢，他也觉得学到新的单字要试着在生活中应用，而不是死背硬背。我们赶快来听听他的建议吧。
I would absolutely say that because learning a language, it requires an effort and it also requires motivation. You really need to want to learn this language. And because with languages, it's always the beginning that is the hardest part. Once you've established this kind of basic understanding of a language, it just gets easier because the more you use it and talk it, the more you will learn. So number one key point I would probably say to try to surround yourself in the language as much as possible. And this is all by, maybe listen to music in that language, watching movies in that language, surrounding you with like maybe people that speak that language. My number one advice is absolutely, if you want to learn language good, you really should move to a country where it's spoken, because then you'll really be surrounded by this language 24/7. You will hear it all the time, and you will just speak it more. And because whenever you're learning, let's say a new word or something, it's also very important to try to use it in daily life, because whenever you're learning something from a textbook and you have these sentences and whatnot, you will only experience them in that sense. You won't really have something to relate to. But let's say you learn a word today, then you should try and use that in your conversation today, because if you use it, then you'll have a situation where you relate it to, and whenever you want to remember that, you can just remember this situation instead of trying to remember a paragraph from a textbook. So it's always good to, whenever you learn something new, try to use it as much and as quickly as possible.
That's some great tips and advice. Wonderful. All right, so last question would be, if you could go back in time now and share any further advice with your younger self, what would it be?
那在节目最后，马丁提到了，如果他能够回到过去，他也有些话想要跟年轻的自己说哦。那说什么呢？他提到use it or lose it， 你要嘛就用这个语言，要么就失去它。语言是要用的，不用呢就会忘记。那为什么他会这样说嘞？因为他曾经会很多语言都很流利哦，但就是因为后来都没有继续使用，就全都忘光了。待会我们要好好的仔细听，把这些宝贵的意见都好好记在心里哦。
That would absolutely be to maintain your language.
Maintain your language. Yeah. Okay, what does that mean?
That means that because with languages, if you don't use them, you will forget them.
If you don't use them, you lose them.
If you don't use them, you lose them. That's what happens. And myself is a great example, because during high school, I've always been very fascinated about languages. So in high school, I studied, besides Swedish and English, I studied Spanish, French, Italian, and German. And I studied all of those languages for 3 to 4 years each. I had a pretty good understanding of all of those languages. But now, 15 years later, I haven't used any of them, and I've pretty much forgotten all. I can still understand maybe a little bit, but I can't speak anything. And that's just because I haven't used them. So you really need to maintain the language.
Maintain a language. Surround yourself. Some great advice. Thank you for making some time for us, brother.
Yeah.
So is there any place that we can find you, or our listeners can find you on social media?
Absolutely. I have my my Facebook fan page, which is Martin Firm Official.
Nice. And I'm sure if you just search your Chinese name, Fang Ma.
Yeah, Fang Ma, you could probably find that.
Yeah.
Other than that, you would have my Instagram is MartinFermTW, Martin Firm Taiwan.
Taiwan. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that insight about your life and family and your language journey. All right, we'll see you next time, brother.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All righty. That is our NG English show for today. Thank you so much to Martin for sharing with us about his life. We hope everyone enjoyed listening to that. Don't forget to connect with us on Facebook. You can search 希平方 or NG 英文. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
好，那我们今天希平方的节目 NG 英文就到这边告一段落啦，感谢大家的收听。那也特别感谢马丁呢，特别拨时间来参加我们的节目哦。那也欢迎大家上网搜寻希平方的攻其不备课程，或者是呢到我们希平方的官网多读读一些有关 NG 英文的专栏文章，看看在 NG 英文里面的专栏有没有哪些是大家可以吸收学起来的一些小 pebble 哦。我们下次见了，拜拜。